In this video, we're going to talk about collecting user input or getting user input using JOptionPane. Now, we've already used JOptionPane before to display a message dialog box. A dialog box that says, gives you a little message, has an OK button. We're going to expand its uses of the JOptionPane, and we're going to actually use that to prompt users to collect user input. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got this little program, and first, there's our import statement. Remember, we need this to use any kind of dialog box, whether it's going to be a message dialog box or an input dialog box. We need to have import javax.swing.joptionPane, so make sure you have that there. This little program, all it does, let's take a look at what it's actually supposed to do here. We've got some declarations. We've actually declared 4 variables: age, increase amount, fname, and lname. And age and increase amount are both of type integer, and then we've got 2 strings for fname and lname. Then we went ahead and we've made these assignments. Okay, in the assignments, we've assigned age to be 22, increase amount to be 100, and then fname and lname, Scott and Storm, respectively. Then we're just going to use a message dialog box, and we're going to display hello, Scott, then a space, Storm. We're going to do a new line character right here, so that means we're going to prompt to the next line. No, we won't put that. We'll leave that. That's fine. Just show you what it looks like. We're going to do a new line. Then we're going to say you are whatever age is, 22 years old, and then increase amount, which will be 100. 100 years, you will be 22 plus 100, which will be 122 years old. So just a pretty simple little program. Just going to do some output, and we're going to compile that, and then we'll run it. And right there you go. Hello, Scott Storm. You are 22 years old, and in 100 years, you will be 100 years old. We've got a couple problems here. First problem is there's no space between 22 and 100, so we want to put a space between those two numbers. But also the bigger number is we were actually expecting the number 122 because we were supposed to add the age and the increase amount, and it didn't. It concatenated them. So what we're going to do, let's go fix those. First thing, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put a space. We're going to put a space right between before the y in years, so we're going to get that space right there. And this is the interesting part right here. Look, we've got all this concatenation going on. So we're concatenation, just joining stuff together, and we're joining all these variables and literals together. Well, whenever it gets to this line right here, age, or whenever it gets to this right here, age plus increase amount, it's not actually adding them, it's just concatenating. It's putting your 22 and your 100, so you get your 22 100. We want to fix that, and by doing that, we're just going to do orders of operation. So we're just going to put parentheses around age and increase amount. Okay, so that'll take care of that. We'll compile this, run that, make sure we get what we want for our output this time. And there it is. You are 22 years old, and in 100 years will be 122. So that took care of that. Still doesn't do what we actually want to do in this video, and that's actually get the user input, because right now we're using just literals. 22, 100, Scott, Storm. This is all done in the program. So anytime anyone wanted to use our program, they would have to call us up. We'd have to rewrite the code and insert their name or their age or their increase amount. We want that to happen autonomously, so it's robust. They'll actually be prompted for that. We're going to use the JOptionPane for that. So all we're going to do is we're going to use the command prompt the user to enter their first name. So we're going to use JOptionPane.showInputDialog. Okay, show input dialog, and then inside the input dialog, this is just the message the user is going to see. That way the user knows what he or she is supposed to enter. So whenever we run this, we're going to compile, and we'll run it. And now we're going to get this dialog box. Okay, this is called an input dialog box. Notice how it differs from a message dialog box. It actually has a text box for you to enter in information to. This message right here, please enter your first name. That's what appears. That's just for the user. We don't really have to have anything there. If we didn't want to, it wouldn't make any sense, because then the user would just be staring at a text box saying, what am I supposed to put there? But this just lets the user know, hey, that's what I'm supposed to put inside this box. This right here, JOptionPane.showInputDialog box, all it does is it brings up this box. Okay, that's its job. It brings up this box. It creates a container for it. Notice that we didn't make the box. We just used this one command to bring up the box. That's exactly what it does. So now I'm going to enter a name. I'll enter Madison. Okay, so now Madison is entered inside my box, as you can see. This is JOptionPane. Nothing's happened. The program is completely frozen until I click OK. So we're stopped right here at line 19. Once I click OK, my first name, because it's Madison, should be Hello Madison, and then last name hasn't been changed, so that'll be Storm. So Hello Madison Storm, and we're going to click OK. And it still says hello Scott Storm. Well, that's weird. Why does it say that? Well, here's why. You notice number one, we didn't get an error right here, but this JOptionPane, once the JOptionPane opens up and it asks you for the name, once you click OK, well, let's go ahead and run the program again. Once you click OK on this box, so this JOptionPane.showInput box, that brings up the box. The text right here is the text that appears right here. Anything you type in, that's part of the JOptionPane, and once you click OK, what happens is this box is sent back to the program, okay? So it's sent back to your code, whatever's typed inside here, and we typed Madison. Okay, so now that Madison is typed in, you click OK, but we're not holding it anywhere. In other words, it just disappears. Once we click OK, whatever we typed in that box doesn't go anywhere. It's just kind of just disappears. We need to have something to hold it. And in this, excuse me, in this case, we want it to be fname. So whatever's entered inside of this box, once the user clicks OK, it's going to be stored in the variable fname. So now whenever we compile it, and we'll run our project, now we're going to enter in Madison. And there, Madison is now held in fname. So now whatever's in fname, which is Madison, hello Madison, and then lname hasn't changed at all, that's still Storm. And then you are 22 years old, 100 years. So we're going to click OK on that. And all we want to do is we're going to put in one more JOptionPane to collect user input. And this JOptionPane is going to be the last name. So we're going to lname. So lname is going to be please enter your last name. So whenever we compile this and run it, we're going to get two JOptionPane boxes. The first one says enter your first name, so that's Madison. We're going to click OK. And then the next one says please enter your last name. So now we're on this line right here. Again, the program's been halted until we click OK. And we're going to enter Katie. And we click OK. And now, hello Madison Katie, you're 22 years old. Well, these two variables haven't changed, age and increase amount. So that's why we've got still the 22 and 100, but we were able to get user input for the first name and last name. And with that, that's how you use JOptionPane to collect user input.